Nice balls, bro.
Pokemon is pretty cool. There have been a bunch of different designs for different types of Pokemon over the last generations, and for some of them are really cool. However, there are some that are, well, questionable to me. There's one that's like a pig, a magnet, and then there's one that's just straight up a whale. Like, come on, Whale Lord? That's what your mom is. I'm sorry, that was way too mean. But there is one that gained a bunch of attraction when it was revealed, and that is the Tinkatink, or Tinkatuff, or Tinkaton. I don't know what to call these pink globs. These pink midgets were introduced in Generation 9 of Pokemon, and their only personality is that they have a big hammer. And since this pile of chewed bubblegum is really popular, I'm gonna teach you how to properly raise your Tinkatink, or Tinkatuff, or Tinkatuff, or whatever, with the help of my new Pokemon, Tinky Winky. Trust me, I did not pick the name.
Step 1. Catch 1.
I think it's obvious. If you want to collect your own little school eraser, you have to collect one. I mean, yeah, that's the point of Pokemon. Tinkatinks and Tinkatuffs are mostly found in the ruins. Tinkatons, however, have to be evolved. I, however, found mine in a dumpster of a subway eating some leftover ham from a BLT that someone dropped. Listen, I'm pretty sure you were about to do the same if you were going to the back of a subway as well. Tinky, I don't need your sass right now. I'm trying to teach people how to be a good trainer. Mario, you're doing the exact opposite. Anyways, it's also by law to give them silly names. I gave my group of pink gummy bears names like Pinky, Ton, Tinkerbell, Tink, and more. Please don't do that. Make sure to get your nicknames from a reliable place and don't give them any generic names like such as Paul, Walter, or XXX the Raven Killer XXX.
Step 2. Level them up.
This should also be self-explanatory. If you want to evolve your small pink trash eater or make them stronger, you either gotta fight wild Pokemon. It is useful to use auto battle to your advantage. Just note that it won't evolve your Pokemon. Give them rare candy or just give them XP candy. When these pink living globs evolve, they grow and their hammers get bigger and bigger. Speaking of which, where do you even get these materials to make your hammer? From the dead carcasses of my enemies. Okay, should I also note that they also have no remorse when they defeat their own kind? These things are ruthless. That's right.
Step 3. Know your enemies.
So, going by whatever Tinky just said, it's very important to figure out your weaknesses and strengths whenever you decide to go early into battle. They can sometimes easily defeat a Pokemon without even moving. And the Pokedex, it says their Corviknights are their enemies. Wait, why are you trying to fight a creature that is twice as big as you? Not including the hammer, this thing can easily defeat you if you're not careful. Shut up, Mario. I don't see anyone else complaining about you fighting off that big turtle, whatever that thing is.
Step 4. Go outside.
Walks are important. It gives you and your friend more time to bond with each other. Not only is it good for your little friend, like me, it's also good for this fat man over here to lose some weight. I kid you not, he eats 15 large pizzas in the span of 15 minutes, and he somehow weighs more than my hammer. I'm sorry, what was that? I thought I heard and saw a chewed up piece of bubblegum talking to me. I'm only 210, okay? There are millions of places in the world where you can walk, such as the grasslands, outside your school grounds, inside your school grounds, the beach, the desert, Antarctica, and under the sea. However, be aware of your surroundings, as there are many creatures that are ready to attack you if you aren't careful. Also, be respectful for your Tink's speed, as they aren't known to be the fastest Pokemon in the Paldea region. Slow down, you're going like 35 miles an hour! Maybe you could run faster if you wouldn't carry that huge chunk of metal with you all the time. Oopsie daisy! Ah! 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 Stupid.
Step 5. Have daily picnics.
Picnics are fun. They give you and your friend more time to bond by making sandwiches, giving them a bath, or playing a game of kickball with them. I want to know, however, that if you decide to play ball with your Tinkaton, just note that sometimes the ball can scare them. Of course, you also gotta give them a bath so they aren't stinky. Alright, first of all, we need a whole bunch of soap, because this little guy's really stinky. Oh, she's getting cranky. Alright, now we need the water, so just a little bit. Just a little bit, just don't drown it, obviously. What the frick, you actually like that? Mario, why do we have to bathe while you don't? Shut the frick up, Tinky! When you're making food for your pink slobs, remember that it has to be the best thing ever made. Think of your tinks as your personal Gordon Ramsay. Alright, now we have to make a sandwich for these things because they're freaking hungry. Alright, so we gotta get the butter out, of course, and just make a normal piece of ham. So, obviously you need one piece of ham right here, like in the middle. And you need another piece of ham right in the middle as well. And the second one, well, we don't need. Or the third one. And the bread we also don't need as well. We can just leave it off like that, and boom, there we go. Perfect, sandwich, I guess. They don't call me Gordon Ramsay's long-lost son for nothing, you know? Like, I bet you can smell this just from the screen. It's so good. I feel so bad. They have to eat this. But what do they think? I want to know. The final test, obviously. Oh, they actually liked it. Don't ever let this man inside the kitchen. He will make the most disgusting food you will ever eat. What? What are you talking about? This is some of the best food you'll ever eat. Alright, well there you go. That's how you make the perfect sandwich in the world. I hope you learn more from my kitchen tips.
Your kitchen tip made me want to kill myself.
Remember when I told you to give your tinks names? Yeah, at this point it is very necessary so you can keep track of where they are and figure out who's who. Keep in mind that it also doesn't help that they always look the same. Alright, if that's Tinky, and that's Pinky, and that's Ton, and that's Tinkerbell, then who the heck are you?
Step 6. Show that you care about them.
As you can already tell, some of my tips are jokes, and in the end, it is very important to take care of your Tinkaton. Well, actually, you can basically train any Pokemon by following these steps and tips. These aren't just reserved for these pink rubber balls. You can easily do this by doing all the past steps properly. Making a bond with these things can cause you to have a family bond of a lifetime. Just remember to never call these things fat. What did you just call me?